This is the Point on That podcast, and I'm your host, Johnny B, and my guest host today, OC Hope.
How's it
We have a
going, man?
special, good, man, good, OC. So we have a special guest with us tonight. We're talking to Cori Bush, and she's a candidate for Congress from St. Louis, Missouri. Cori, how you doing?
Oh, I'm glad to be here. I'm doing okay. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for trooping through it. We understand you're a little bit under the weather, but we truly appreciate you making the time to speak with us. You know, us little people, we don't always get the
Oh,
popular and famous and powerful people like yourself to talk to us.
oh, geez, whatever.
Like I said, Corey's running for Congress in St. Louis, Missouri. Corey, can you tell us why you're running?
Sure. Well, it looks like what I'm dealing with right now. I've actually been sick for the last almost 2 months,
Oh, wow.
battling pneumonia, which really mimics COVID-19.
I was
Mm.
about to say.
Yeah. It's one. I've been hospitalized twice, and it's just been an up and down thing. But
Jeez.
Have you
but
been tested and you're okay? It's not
I
COVID?
have I have been tested and
Good,
it
good.
was a negative, but my doctor thinks it was a false negative.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Wow.
yeah, so I've just been pushing through. And but the thing is, it's the things that I've been fighting for all of this time. One of the reasons why I'm running is because our marginalized communities are communities that are um, um, disenfranchised and disproportionately affected by so many things that have to do with systematic racism, institutionalized racism in our communities
Mm.
aren't being addressed properly. And so I'm a registered nurse, I'm a community activist and
Mm.
organizer. I came out of the Ferguson uprising.
Wow.
And after, leading a lot of the protests and marches and sit ins and all of that during that time, and just seeing how the people that were actually paid to represent like this group of people wouldn't show up for us. We were
Right.
beaten, we were hung upside down and hogtied, we were intimidated, harassed, tased. Like, so many things happened to us out there, and we didn't have the people that actually could that had the opportunity to make a difference stand. And then I kept thinking about my son. My son, uh, what can I do to help save his life so that he won't be murdered by a police officer unjustly,
Jesus.
or
Right.
communal violence, and what we're seeing today, even just today,
It's
and over
just
the last 7
unbelievable.
days. That's why I'm running, because somebody
Right.
has to be bold enough to stand up and fight the systems that are fighting us, without any type of apology.
Mm. Right, right. And you're such a perfect guest for today, because after we all saw that video today, it took
Yeah.
me a while to watch it. I still didn't watch it with the sound. I've been watching it without no sound. It breaks my heart.
Oh my
And it's
God.
not because it was just looking at it, because it's just another one, right? It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
why does this keep happening?
Right. I'll have to say honestly, I'm triggered right now. I've been watching the marching and the protests going on right now, and I'm just, part of me is like, yes, but the other part of me is grieving, because we are
Right.
still in this place where we have police officers and governments.
Mm.
It's like this state sanctioned violence, but what we're seeing is when we have people in place, because when we look at who the AG is there, you know, when we have people in place that can make decisions and that can make power moves, like those four officers are right now fired.
Right.
So that's why we have to be in these positions of power, so that we can fight against this. And things won't change until we change the culture of our police forces. And not only the police force, you got to get to the prosecutors, you got to get to the judges, you
Right.
got to get to and then also we have to have what helps to lift our people out of poverty, um,
Mm.
and pulls us out of these systems end up with us in prisons and all of that.
Right.
That's why.
Right. Ooh. Also, did you notice how Chloe's voice went louder when she started talking? You know she's a
Yeah.
real activist.
No,
Yeah, she got that
you
that energy came out real quickly.
you're
It's
real
like it's
spirit.
my people now, right?
Right.
Absolutely,
Right.
That's my
and
folks.
and it's worth being passionate about because
Absolutely.
what we're seeing here is, you know, I mean, as terrible as this has been today, it just so happens the way this guy basically killed the cop killed this young
Um,
brother was by
right.
kneeling on his neck, and
My God.
Right.
it
Think
was
about that.
it was honestly, like you, John, I didn't want to listen to the audio of this young brother um, screaming out for his life.
Goodness.
Um, but I did get catch the tail end of another guy just speaking to the cops saying, "Listen, I was at the academy. We were never trained to do this. Get your
Right.
get your knee off his neck." And
Mm,
Right.
he happened to use his knee, and what it did is it evoked the image of what Colin
Colin
Kaepernick did.
Kaepernick did.
yes.
Right.
And we're
Right.
seeing these side by sides of which knee will America stand behind. And
Right.
it's kind of it's what Corey is saying. It goes back to this is which what are we really going to fight for? And people like Corey are what we need to wake up our consciousness, because a lot of us are really asleep with what mass media is feeding us.
Mhm.
Um, so I really, really give you a lot of credit for fighting, even with your illness right now, still fighting.
Right. Absolutely.
And
A trooper.
Thank you.
with that said, what's your take on the rest of the candidates? William Lacey, Catherine Bruckner.
Hmm.
What's your take, and on the incumbent as well? And how do
Yeah.
we overcome those hurdles for you to get the job done?
Sure. Thank you for the question. And I agree with your comments. Yeah, as far as the other people in the race, it's the incumbent William Lacey Clay and the lady Catherine Bruckner. I don't know her. I've never met her. I don't know anything about her. It's not much. There's not much information like on social media about her or anything. So I
I
don't
see.
know who that is. But the incumbent, um, the thing is, he was the congressperson when Ferguson happened, when Michael Brown was murdered,
Mm.
and like I said, I was out there along with so many other activists. We were there every single day. We protested more than 400 days during
Absolutely.
and that time, and to never see him out there, we would be out there for hours upon hours. Sometimes 24 hours at a time. In a matter of 90 days, I may have missed 2 or 3 days in 90. And
Wow.
so it's not like I missed this person.
Mm.
This is the and I this so I feel like if the Congress person walks out, if the police are in riot gear with dogs and hitting people with batons and all of this firing tear gas at people's faces, if the Congress person steps out and stands in the street and says, "Stop it. You will not treat my community like this,"
Right.
and picks up a phone or just does that, how much stops? You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because that did not happen.
Mm.
We had regular, everyday folks trying to make it happen. And let me just say, we found St. Louis is a very segregated city, but we found a new St. Louis at that time. There was this coalition building, regardless of what your background is, where you came from, how much money you had. So we had white women that were standing between black men and the police. When the baton would go up to hit them, they would grab it and say, "No, you won't," and the officer would back down.
Wow.
We
Mm.
had our Latinx community that knew they were risking deportation, standing there with us, locked arms, making sure that they were out there with us because Black Lives Matter to them and they understand how
Right.
oppression. We had a delegation from Palestine come over and sit in the grass at the
Wow.
same apartment building where Michael Brown was murdered and taught us about tear gas and what to do. They knew
Mm.
that they were risking their lives and they
Right.
did it anyway. And our
Right.
LGBT community stood up for us as well. Our so in that same way, that's what should be seated in Congress. It's the heart of the community that's willing to fight, but not just fight for my issues. So the thing is this. black folk, we've been oppressed for so long,
So
but
long.
so long. And the thing is this, because we have people that they get comfortable. It gets easier, and
Mm,
we don't, and so we're done with that. See, the thing is, I can't be bought. I
right.
can't be bought. They could have bought
Yes.
me during Ferguson when they tried to buy me, and I wouldn't go for it. I
Right.
Right.
stayed broke, So, I'm this broke nurse. That's what I was, and so, but the thing is this, because my people, I got to always represent my people, and they got to, and
Yes.
I am the people that I fight for, and so
Right.
you can't buy me. So that's what needs to be seated there. Somebody that's gonna always fight for the people from the street.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We
Absolutely. We
don't
don't
have
have
enough of
enough of
that
that
community
community
protection. And
protection.
when I look
And
at
when I
the
look at
No.
the
candidates
candidates
all around
all
the country this year, there's a lot of minorities, a lot of black people are running for offices this year. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, yes, it
All
is.
across the country. That's all I keep seeing. You got Isaiah up there. You got
Yes.
just so many, even the young black people. We have a couple of kids, 25 and 21, running in Florida and one running for, I think, Congress in Georgia. And I
Oh,
love it. It's just like we need more African Americans to get involved.
yes, yes, yes. Well, and then, studies have shown, even not talking about necessarily politics, but when you think about teachers, and you think about how, what happens in our schools when we have a school full of black students and we have
right.
predominantly white teachers. But when you start having black students taught by black teachers and brown students taught by brown teachers, then what
Mm,
happens is it increases that rate of graduation. It increases
right,
that rate of secondary school or trade school, just because for one time they had somebody that looked like them.
Right.
In the same way, we have better outcomes in the medical field when, especially a black woman, but black men too, have a provider that looks like them,
That's right.
mm,
because there is a level of trust that opens up there. And so
right,
we have better outcomes. So in the same way with politics, we can have better outcomes if we have people. But not. Let me say this too: we're not just going for folk because they black. Let me be clear about that, because not
100%.
mm.
everybody, not all skin folk, kin folk.
Hey,
But
hey.
but so it's about what people are, who people are. I am serious about looking at beyond who a person is and what they do that they're getting paid for. So this is what you get paid to do. I'm a nurse, so I document well. I'm going to pass your meds well. I'm going to all of those things. Don't pat me on the back because I passed your meds. No, pat me on the back because I went above and beyond, and blah blah blah. That's what
Right,
so that's what I'm saying. Let's look at who we are. Let's vet us properly so we can have the best person in the seat. But don't but make sure that black folk are in the that you're not pushing people back because they black, and then for black women, because we know black women raise the least amount of money than everybody on the planet running for
right.
office. Black women are seen as the people that can vote but not the people that can lead. So right
Mm,
now, look at black women, pay attention to black women, help push us
yes,
forward, speak for black women, open those doors for us.
Yeah.
absolutely.
We
Absolutely. We need, go ahead, OC.
No, I'm sorry to cut in. I'm just sitting here amazed because we've interviewed a lot of people running this go around, and the passion, just the energy in your voice, even at this point where you're ill. I'm inspired. I already donated. I
Oh,
just I just sat here and donated. I'm like, I gotta get the emails. So I mean,
thank
Right.
we see your perspective on the local politics. What's your perspective on what's happening federally, nationally,
Right.
with
you.
Nationally.
with you know we're now to the point where we have the Biden, who's
Mhm.
uh, presumptive nominee, um,
Mm.
and I look at a lot of the progressives now are more in line with some of what Bernie was saying, not always perfectly in line.
Um, is is marijuana legal in St. Louis, Missouri?
So,
I'm
um,
I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend.
um,
Are you
so no,
visiting?
we don't have so that medical marijuana is legal,
Okay.
um, but yeah, we're still working
Still working on it.
yeah.
I'm just asking for a friend. OC might know. I don't know. It's just just asking. Just asking to ask. But the economic justice thing, increasing the minimum wage to $15 per hour. Can you speak more on that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
why don't you
Oh,
pick like one or two of your favorite or your most important? They're all important, but which ones are the first ones you're going
Absolutely.
to be looking to fight for when you get to Congress?
okay. So that would be definitely. So it's kind of healthcare, education, and economic justice kind of all roll in together,
Of
Absolutely.
course.
and then environmental justice goes right up the middle of that.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of all. It's kind of hard to say which one is like which
Of
one or
course.
two are most important, but
I love them all. So
It's
but
like picking your favorite kid. I know.
yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Um, it is like well, since you brought up $15 an hour minimum wage, I'll start
hmm
there. Because we can't address crime. Crime is prevalent in the St. Louis area.
Hmm.
Last year we were, number one for homicides again.
wow.
I believe it was last year, and then 2018, I believe. Um,
Wow.
but we're always one, two, or three. For homicides, it's been going on for such a long time. And we can't address crime if we don't address poverty head on.
Right.
And so, in order to address poverty, we have to make sure that people are having a livable wage. And I believe that just because that just because you're making $9 an hour doesn't mean that you're giving a $9 an hour. Like, what is that? What is that effort? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you're still working a full day. You're still working hard. And if you are stocking the shelves, or if you are making my chicken sandwich, I want you to be paid well to be able to do that, because you're dealing with the food that I'm about to eat, or you're
Right.
dealing with the products that my family needs to, um, and so just the basic fact that everybody deserves dignity, and the quality of
hmm
life. And then also, when we talk about $15 an hour minimum wage, we need that because women, but definitely black women hold the most college debt in the country. And so
Wow.
out of that
Know
out of
that.
that out of that 1.6 trillion, women hold like 929 billion. Well, black
Stop
women
it.
are
I didn't know that.
absolutely, and black women are at the top of that, and we take longer to repay it. Well, part of that is we're making 61 cent on the dollar, first of all, so we don't even make the whole dollar to be able to pay it back. And then we're often low wage workers because we are those essential workers a lot of times. And whether we went to college or whether we didn't, or whether we went to a trade school, we're still oftentimes those essential workers. And then when we talk about healthcare, I'm a nurse, so I'm a community nurse, so I'm fighting for a Medicare for all, because I believe that healthcare is a human right. That because you breathe, you deserve healthcare. Nobody asks for diabetes or cancer or lupus or any migraines.
Right.
And so I've had patients to die because they didn't have medications, and that's not
Wow.
and that's and we are supposed to be this great country, but we have
Exactly.
other countries. We have countries. I was in Argentina. I met with Congress in Argentina, and I talked with them, and I talked with their activists. And one thing that they said to me, Corey, we are a third world country. We cannot understand why we have public health care, and we have public college, but the United States doesn't. Um, and yes, it's crazy. So I'm because of, but and so if you think about it, if if our people don't have to worry about medical debt or health care, co-payments, deductibles, and all of that premiums, if we don't have to worry about if we have a better wage, and then not only that, small businesses are doing better, and they can give you better benefits because they don't have to pay in the health care. So now they
Mhm.
can give you a better wage, and they can give you better benefits, and it helps them to be able to have more profit. And then the people are taken care of even more, and then you're reducing crime. Because you're reducing poverty, and then you also help with education because we want to push for free college for state universities and colleges,
Hmm.
and also
Hmm.
trade schools, because
Right.
now our people don't have that debt, and then with all of that, it affects our environment, because now our people are able to go to the hospital when they need to, or go to the doctor, have their preventative care, and it's cleaning up our community so we don't have as much, and then we can fight back. Because right now we have this lead, we have the arsenic, we have the methane flowing into our company, into our communities, especially disproportionately black and brown communities.
Hmm.
Um, so it just kind of all melts in there together.
That was beautifully put. It's just amazing that on the face of it, we as a nation have gone so far away from the golden rule.
Yes,
Treat your neighbor as you would want to be treated.
Right,
right.
The golden rule, removing, the God aspect out of it, but the relationship with your neighbor.
right.
Let's
The humanity,
let's
right,
let's all be
Yes,
together, and that common goal. And we really need to lift up the boot off people's neck. Literally, sorry, that's not a
yes,
good day to say that, but you know what
you're
I
right.
mean.
we get it.
With healthcare, education, and housing, that is what's killing the middle class right now. That's what's killing
Mhm.
everybody.
Yeah,
And I think, and I'm so glad you also have on here, your just your on your platform. You also discuss a universal basic income
yes,
because, as say Andrew Yang, who was running at till February, put it, that's a $6.25 raise, as he proposed 1,000 a month. That's $6.25 an extra for anybody who's working at the minimum wage right now. Basically,
Right,
bringing everybody up, but also covering the caretakers at home, you know, moms at home, dads at home, artists, whatever the case may be, kind of giving everybody that little cushion to
right.
relieve that pressure. And then if you could couple that together with medical coverage and
Yes,
decent housing, we all know this would be a better country for it. But you're basically going against the beast of the establishment that refuses to acknowledge this. So I give you credit for everything you're doing. We'll be
thank you.
supporting you. Just continue to fight. Reach out to people, and we'll be here to support.
absolutely, absolutely. Corey, we really appreciate you coming by. I like to give you the rest of the time that we have just to kind of, talk more to the people out there why they should be, jumping on your website and donating money and supporting you and volunteering. And what your website is now, they can find out they can be supportive of your campaign. We truly do appreciate you coming by. Which we
Mhm.
have all day to chat. You definitely one of those candidates that I think we can go on and on about. But I think Sarah's going to get me if I step out of time here. So go ahead and just talk to the people.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for having me. It was great talking to both of you. This is a great podcast. I love the energy.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so welcoming and warm. In the midst of all of this that's going on, and may you stay safe and well. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, my website is coribush.org, CoriBush.org. I am the good one. I'm the good Bush. Don't let the last name throw you off. Um, yeah, I really need if you're able to support. I really need your support right now. We have 4 weeks before people start to absentee vote, and
Mhm.
then our race is August. Our primary is August the 4th. So we basically have 2 months till this thing wraps up, and we need to win this time. We have to win because we can't go another 2 years with the same thing happening in our community. St. Louis is on a decline, so I need your help. I need your time, your talent, your energy, and your treasure, whatever of that you can send our
Right.
way. If I win this seat, I will be the first woman to ever hold this seat in 172 years,
Wow.
and
Wow.
and and if I win this seat, I will be the first Black woman to ever go to Congress from the entire state of Missouri,
Stop
period, in our
it.
history.
Wow. We got to get you
Period.
in there. We got
Period.
Wow.
to. We got to get you in there. Can I donate $1 million? Is that too much?
The button is open. No, $2,800 is the most you can do, sir. But I
Oh,
appreciate
man.
the thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I'm going to jump on. Like Osi said, he already jumped on. So I jumped on and I'll
Appreciate
put
you
something
all.
in there for you. So thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming. Please get well, get better, keep drinking them fluids.
That's right.
Uh, Stay warm and stay cozy up. And we hope you get well real soon.
Thank you. Have a great one, you all. Bye bye.
All right. You too.
All right.
Bye
Take
bye.
care, Corey.